So you're thinking of moving to Pueblo? Well, today we're going to be taking a deep dive into Pueblo. What's happening in our housing market, how the city is growing, which industries are investing, and what that means for the future of living here. If you're thinking about buying, selling, relocating, or just keeping up with what's happening in Pueblo, this is the update you're going to need. And we're not just going to be talking light information today. We're going to be going deep. Housing values, population projections, economic investment, inventory levels, price trends, all of it. So let's get into it. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know all there is to know about living in Pueblo, be sure to hit that subscribe button, click the little bell for notifications so you can stay up to date on all the latest market trends. Hi, I'm Krista and I'm a local realtor here in Pueblo. I grew up here since I was a little girl. I'm a Colorado native, so you're in good hands on this channel when it comes to having a place to get the scoop. The scoop on the trends, the scoop on the growth, the history. We're going to cover as much as we can here. And if you're looking to make a move to the area, maybe that's in 10 days from now, it could be a year from now, it doesn't really matter. Feel free to reach out to us. You can text us, you can call us, you can set up a time to do a Zoom, and we will be happy to connect with you because we want to help you make a smooth transition here. So it doesn't matter if that's now or later, feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to connect. And in the meantime, maybe we'll see you around Pueblo. All right, let's start with population, because this is the foundation of every housing market. Right now, the city of Pueblo is home to around 111,000 people, and Pueblo's county overall sits at 170,000 residents. Now, here's the part most people don't realize. Pueblo is not exploding like Denver or Colorado Springs. Instead, our growth has been stable, steady, and predictable. Over the last decade, Pueblo County's population has grown about 6%. Not huge, but it's not shrinking either. And that matters. Why? Because slow, steady growth keeps our housing market affordable, accessible, and healthy. We don't get the dramatic spikes that push people out, and we don't get the free fall that scare off investors. We get steady, reliable movement. And long-term projections say we're heading towards around 200,000 residents by 2050. For a lot of families, first-time buyers, and even retirees, that's exactly the type of market they want. Steady, resilient, and still growing. Pueblo's median household income rose to around $55,000 in 2023, which is nearly a 5% increase year over year, and that's a big deal. And here's why. When incomes rise, even modestly, buyers get more purchasing power. Combine that with stable home prices, and Pueblo becomes one of the most attractive markets in the entire state. Let's put it into perspective for a moment. Denver's median home price, around $600,000. Colorado Springs, around $460,000. Pueblo, around $247,000 for median sale price as of late of 2025. That alone pulls people here. Young couples, families, remote workers, retirees, investors. Affordability is a magnet, and Pueblo still has it. All right, now let's get into the part that most people want an update on. What exactly is happening in the Pueblo housing market right now? Well, here's the big picture. So we'll start with home prices. The median home sale price in Pueblo is around $247,000, which is down about 5% year over year. Now, slight declines like that can sound scary, but in Pueblo's case, it's actually really a part of normal market correction after the wild housing rush of 2020 to 2022. The average home value across Pueblo sits around $284,000, which is down about 1.2%. And this tells us we're not in a downturn, we're in a stabilizing phase. Housing inventory, well, inventory in Pueblo is growing slowly, but still low. And Pueblo County's median days on market recently hit around 87 days. That means homes are taking longer to sell than they did 2 years ago, but they are selling. A longer days on market, it doesn't necessarily mean that the market is weak. It just means that buyers aren't rushing like they were during the peak pandemic markets. Now let's talk about vacancy rates. So the sales vacancy rate sits around 1.4%, which is very low. And low vacancy means homes are occupied, demand is steady, supply is tight, and owners aren't dumping their properties. That's a sign of stability, not weakness. Now, historical value growth. So let's talk about that. The Pueblo Metro's official house price index, that's what economists use to track the long-term appreciation, sits at 368.28 as of Q2 of 2025. But for context, that was around 100 in 1995, which means property values have tripled in 30 years. And that's strong long-term appreciation, not boom and bust, not spikes and crash, it's just growth. Now, when it comes to investing, this is one of the biggest pieces for Pueblo. Investors love markets where home prices are low, rents are fair, jobs are stable, vacancy is low, and appreciation is moderate but steady. Pueblo checks all those boxes. That's why out-of-state investors have slowly been buying up the single-family homes, duplexes, triplexes, and small multifamily properties. They see what many locals overlook. Pueblo provides better cash flow potential than most Colorado cities. And that long-term interest supports property values for everyone: homeowners, sellers, and landlords. Now let's talk about the economic engine behind Pueblo. Incentives attract businesses. So Pueblo has one of the best incentives in Colorado. We use a half-cent sales tax fund to provide actual cash incentives to employers who relocate or expand here. It's not a tax break, it's actually cash. And that puts Pueblo in front of companies like manufacturing, industrial tech, renewable energy, distribution, aviation, construction, and logistics, and it works. Manufacturing backbone of Pueblo is really that Pueblo's home to major steel production, wind tower manufacturing, concrete railroad tie production, specialty metal fabrication, and industrial supply companies. These aren't fragile industries. They're long-term, durable, and stable. And a stable industry creates stable housing demand. So let's talk renewable energy booms. If you take the Comanche Solar Project, a $253 million project, one of the largest in Colorado, it adds jobs, infrastructure, long-term energy investment, environmental resilience, and renewable energy attracts skilled workers, and skilled workers buy homes. So then we look at our healthcare and our government stability here too. Pueblo's healthcare and government job sectors anchor our economy. Hospitals don't close during recessions, government doesn't cut every workforce, and schools continue to operate. This type of job base protects the community from economic downturns and protects the housing market too. Now let's look at small business growth because that is huge here in Pueblo. Pueblo's affordability makes it a strong hub for small businesses. I mean, we're seeing more local restaurants, specialty service businesses, boutiques, contractors, creatives, home-based entrepreneurs, and that means new jobs, new families, new spending, new demand for housing. Kind of all goes together, right? So that leads me to talk about our infrastructure, and what infrastructure tells you is where a city is going, not where it is today necessarily. So here's what Pueblo is actively developing. Road expansions especially are happening right now towards Pueblo West. Road improvements usually hint at a planned future growth. And then there's utility infrastructure. That's essential for new subdivisions and community expansion. Then we have commercial growth, which we have several new businesses which have opened or expanded, including chains and franchises, especially along Highway 50 and the north side. And our school districts are improving as well. So District 60, District 70 have been modernizing and upgrading facilities, and families pay attention to that. And so do buyers. We've got parks, trails, and recreations, and neighborhood upgrades increase home values and improve overall livability. So what does all of this mean for the real estate here? Well, let's bring everything together. Here's what all these trends actually mean. First, Pueblo is stable, it's not volatile. Buyers want stability. Investors want predictability, and sellers want security, and Pueblo offers all three. Second, homes are still affordable, especially compared to Colorado Springs or Denver. Affordability brings in new residents increase demand, and demand supports prices. Thirdly, jobs are diverse and diversifying. More sectors equals more resilience. More resilience equals healthier housing market. And four, inventory is tight. Low vacancy plus long-term demand equals good appreciation outlook. And lastly, appreciation is steady, not inflated. Slow and steady is ideal for long-term homeowners, kind of like slow and steady wins the race. So who is Pueblo perfect for? Well, Pueblo continues to attract first-time homebuyers, growing families, retirees, remote workers, investors, because it offers affordability, it offers stability, space, outdoor recreation, job growth, and it really does give you a community feel. And that combination is actually pretty rare in Colorado today. So in closing, we can say that's your deep data-driven look at Pueblo's growth, economy, and housing market going into 2025. And beyond, really. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or relocating, I would love to help you navigate that option. Feel free to grab my contact information from the description box below, and we look forward to helping you out. In the meantime, maybe we'll see you around Pueblo.